Hey, what is up guys, it's Riley or Taylor here, and we're back with a brand new video, episode 4 of the Division News Weekly Recap. We have a lot of interesting stories today regarding future game DLC and where the game currently is. So let's dive straight into it and get stuck in. So our first port of call is actually an out of the map exploit. Now this exploit definitely dug up some interesting future DLC possibilities. Now if you don't like spoilers, I suggest you skip a good minute or so because I will be digging into this. Now, the first thing is the LMB, which is the Last Man Battalion, and obviously once you complete the game you see a lot of these around. Once you do this out of the map exploit, you can actually get over to the left hand side of the map. This pretty much involves an army base that has been overrun by the Last Man Battalion, including an aircraft carrier. Now, a couple of people have actually managed to get their way onto the aircraft carrier, and it does contain a lot of loot boxes and placeholder items. So this definitely indicates that they're working on something here, and that it could be released in the very near future. So 1 week after the Division had launched, they actually posted an article. Now this article is going to be a weekly recurrence on the Division website. It's going to include a few things, one of them being state of the game. Now this one actually unearths some very interesting news. In the article it states, the game may have just been released but we already have a new update for you to dive into. This will be in your hands next week, and fear not, a lot more information about it will be revealed very soon, so keep your eyes peeled. Now this goes back to why my video is a day or so late. I was going to try and hold out and find out what news they were actually talking about. But from now on, these videos will actually come out every Tuesday, including the latest State of the Game article. But what could this update be? Now, obviously I just talked about the Last Man Battalion base, but I think that still needs a little bit of work to be done. But who knows, it could be absolutely anything, it could be just tweaks and bug fixes, but the way they say for you to dive into, I can't imagine it just being something like that. I'm sure it's going to be very tasty, and as soon as I know anything, you will too. So before we move on, we've actually got patch notes of what's going to happen tomorrow. Now there's some really interesting things and a lot of fixes that have been done. One of the main fixes is actually named NPCs will no longer respawn after being killed in the open world. This will prevent situations where players were able to kill the same named NPC over and over again to farm Phoenix coins. They have also made a couple of good improvements to the Dark Zone, that including that you'll now lose less XP in Dark Zone funds when you're killed, rogue and non-rogue. This is actually a really good fix because it was currently way too harsh for when you died in the Dark Zone, because you would lose almost a whole level of experience and a lot of the Dark Zone funds you had been farming. They have now increased Phoenix credit drops on level 31 and 32 enemies in the Dark Zone. The way this works is level 30 will drop between 1 and 3, level 31 will drop between 2 and 4, and level 32 will drop between 3 and 5 credits. One last thing I'd like to point out is they have improved the Dark Zone chests item quality. Rank 30 chests will now drop superior purple items instead of the specialised blue items. Key chests now have the chance to drop high-end gold items, which is also very good. So all of these fixes and improvements will come in a patch tomorrow once the downtime has been completed. That is 9 AM Central European Time, which is actually 10 PM GMT. There is also a lot more fixes and improvements done on the game, so make sure you check out the link in the description. So in last week's episode, I sort of dived into some of the sales statistics and records that the Division had broken. They were number 1 last week for the amount of sales in the UK, but again this week they are still number 1 the week ending March the 19th. So this is the second week in a row that Ubisoft's open world action game has finished number 1 since its record-breaking debut. It really shows that some of the reviews that have been released this week, including from IGN, have definitely not affected sales whatsoever. Going on to the IGN review, they actually gave it a 6.8 rating out of 10. This is a very harsh review in my opinion because it actually rates it lower than some of the other games that have released the past year or last year. That includes games like Star Wars Battlefront and Evolve. Now, they weren't the biggest of games, but to be rated higher than The Division is almost a crime in my eyes. But reading through the review and analysing it a bit more, a lot of Redditors also agree with me and reckon it is based off the beta gameplay. What else I think is a bit weird about this review is that IGN actually had almost a partnership with The Division and were releasing content before anyone else could. Now, I just think it's almost like backstabbing your best friend. He's given you something before he's given it to anyone else, and then once everyone else has got it, you say how bad it was in the first place. I just don't think it's fair, but this is my own opinion, and by no means am I speaking for everyone. So now it's just about time to go into the community news division. We've got a couple of good guys here, and a couple of worthy mentions, so let's dig straight into it and crack on. So if you're like me and haven't quite reached the level 30 cap on PvE yet, then here is a really great guide for when you do. Now I've tried to grind this game as much as I can, but I just don't have a lot of time at the moment. So this guide submitted by DJB has made it very handy on what you can do and what you should do as soon as you reach level 30. And actually reading this makes me want to stay up all night and day just to hit level 30. Because like I said, I just haven't had that much time to play it, but I am now about 16 or 17 and I'm really getting into it. So definitely, if you're close to level 30, make sure to check out this guide and make sure you're getting the full experience out of the Division that you can have. The next great guide is by the Reddit user Lithium. He's made an ultimate gearing and build guide. This is also set out very nice and easy to understand, and it sort of gives me an idea of how I want to build my character. I suggest you check this out if you're still not decided on how to build it and get the perfect amount of balance for your agent. I think it is only right to announce that somebody has now reached level 30 PvE and level 99 within the Dark Zone. This is an absolutely unreal achievement considering the game has only been out for 2 weeks. This was actually achieved 5 days ago as well. So on the 16th of March, 1 week after launch, somebody reached both the level limits. The guy is actually called Chaos35k. Massive congratulations to you, you're the first person in the world to achieve this on the Division, and he did actually get mentioned on the official Facebook page and Twitter. So it's quite a big deal. I mean, I think somebody worked out that he only had 4 hours sleep every day to achieve this. That's absolutely unreal. I can't imagine how hard it must have been, and it's something that I would like to achieve one day, but I can't see myself doing it anytime in the near future. And that just about wraps up for this video. I'm currently feeling really ill and my throat is killing me. So I do hope you enjoyed, I hope the speech is alright. But before you do click off this video, I have been streaming a lot of my Division progress over on my Twitch channel, which is /Rolliat, just like my YouTube. So make sure you click follow on that, and I'll be on there as much as I can. I hope you did all enjoy this video. And if you did, make sure to hit that like button. And if you're new around here, make sure to subscribe for the weekly updates on the Division news. I will be bringing out a lot more videos soon, I just need to get the content sorted and get my character fully maxed out. But until then, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon.